Hi, my name's Katie. I'm one of the clinical educators here at Qora Medical, and today I'm going to be giving an overview of the Qora Stool Management Kit. I'm going to start with an overview of the kit, and then go through the application features, the maintenance features, some of the extra features, and finish up with the removal of the device. Let's get started. When you receive the kit, it's going to look just like this. On the back, as with any device, we do have a list of indications and contraindications. When you're ready, go ahead and peel up the sticker on the front and break the seal to open the kit. Now in the kit, you're going to have everything you need except for just a few items. I'm also going to grab gloves and lubricant, a Luer lock syringe for irrigation, and a slip tip syringe for stool samples. I'm just going to set these aside as I go through the contents of the kit. Now first we have a brief panel of instructions at the top here. There's also a more detailed pamphlet underneath the device itself. Then we have our bag hanger. So this just loops around the bottom rung of the bed and snaps right into place. And then we like to take the enema clamp out of the kit and just place it right on here for ease of access. We know small parts tend to walk off, so this way we know exactly where it is when we need it later on. Lastly is the device itself. It comes preloaded in an applicator, and then we have about 6 feet of length with the initial collection bag at the end. Other collection bags will be stocked separately. Now let's set this aside as we go through the application process. I've gathered a few different items for this application process. I have my model, some lubricant, a short length device for demonstration, and an empty applicator. I want to use this to show you the proper hand placement on the device. You can see that there are some indentations on the blue portion of the applicator. These act as gripper marks, so we want to hold the device in our right hand between our thumb and our index finger right on those gripper marks. There are two different pieces of the applicator, the white and the blue, and these are actually going to slide apart from each other in the application process to remove the applicator itself, leaving the stent-like feature in place. I do want to note that the white tab acts as a stopping feature, so it prevents us from over-inserting, but also ensures that we're inserting far enough. The applicator itself is what standardizes the application process. So again, we're going to hold the device in our right hand between our thumb and our index finger on those blue gripper marks. And we always want to keep the white tab facing towards the left. So let's go through that. We're going to start with the patient in the left lateral position, grab our device, and lubricate the length of the applicator entirely. So now, again, holding the device between our thumb and our index finger with the white tab towards the left, we're going to insert all the way until that white tab bottoms out against the tailbone of the patient. So now that it's placed, we want to remove the outer applicator piece by piece. We're going to steady the white tab with our left thumb while we remove the blue portion of the applicator. I do want to note that we're just using our thumb to steady the white tab. We aren't going to be pushing inward or adjusting it in any way. Just steady it. Now go ahead and peel back the blue portion of the applicator, and as you start to do that, it may start to clamshell open. The idea is that it's going to peel away from the sheath itself, so that's okay if that starts to happen. So there we go, we can see it opening up more, but we're just going to remove it entirely and peel away from the actual sheath. Now we still need to remove that white tab. So we're going to steady the sheath in one hand while we pull away and outward on the white tab to remove it. And that's it. Just remember that there are two pieces of the applicator, both of which need to be removed and discarded afterwards. The one thing we don't want to do with this device is give it a nice tug after application. I know it may be a hard habit to break because with the balloons we're taught to insert, inflate, and then give it that nice tug to ensure proper placement. With the Qora, no adjustment is needed. That applicator standardizes the process so that we know that the product is in place properly without giving it a tug or adjusting it at all. It's also self-expanding, so there's no inflation, deflation, or any type of adjustment needed. If you do want to gauge placement of the device, we can take a look at this transition near the rectum. There's a bit of a transition in color from clear to white. We want that as close to the rectum as possible. This tells us that the device is properly placed up in the rectal folds. So let's get a better visual of that. With the Qora, we're actually placed up in the rectal folds. So we're going to get a nice seal as the device moves with the patient's natural anatomy, moving with peristalsis. That's going to decrease leakage substantially. We're also avoiding any contact on the anal rectal junction, so it's much more comfortable and much safer for the patient. So after we know that the device is properly placed, we want to straighten it out, make sure it's not twisted or kinked in any way, and just let it lay between the patient's legs. We'll roll the patient back over and then go ahead and let it hang off the side of the bed. There should be enough room in the device itself with the 6 feet of length to go around any wedges or any items in the bed. The goal is just not to occlude the sheath in any way. So now that we've gone through the application process, let's go through some of the maintenance features. So I have a full-length device here to show you the different maintenance features that you'll need. I'm going to start with the center of the device, which we reference as the maintenance hub. There are 3 different ports that we want to take a look at here. The first is a stool sample port. Now when you open this up, it may seem that it cannot be penetrated, but it's a one-way valve. We're going to grab a slip-tip syringe and aspirate as needed. Just be sure that we're closing that tab afterwards. Although the entire device and collection bag are 100% odor containing, if that's left open, some gas may be emitted, so we just want to ensure that it's closed all the way. Now there are 2 other ports here that we want to take a look at. The first has a red sticker that says pull to withdraw, and that's for the removal of the device, so I'm going to come back to it. The other is a lure lock port with a blue sticker that says irrigate. This is what we'll use for our routine irrigation process. We need you to irrigate the device about every 4 to 8 hours with 30 to 60 cc's of saline. We want to grab that lure lock syringe filled with saline, administer our irrigation, and then milk the contents down towards the collection bag. So we're going to steady the device with one hand and milk the contents down. The idea is just to keep everything patent and moving down towards that collection bag. Now we do have a sticker as a reminder here as well, just for the general maintenance features. We need you to irrigate about every 4 to 8 hours with 30 to 60 cc's of saline, milk the contents down, and then we're also going to check the bag and change it when it's full. So on the bottom here is our collection bag. It's 1,000 cc's, just like other bags you may have seen. When we need to change it, it's just a quick twist. It's about a 1/4 turn counterclockwise. So we want to hold the bag in one hand and the sheath in another, and we can see that there are some pins in the center here. We're just going to twist to disengage those. The notches on the sheath align with the divots in the bag. We're just aligning and twisting. Now the bag has a few features as well. Inside is an anti-reflux valve, so no stool can come back out once it's in. And on the back we have a charcoal filter with the gas release valve. So gas will be emitted while the odor is contained. You don't need to burp the bag at all. Also on the bag you'll find an indentation. This is for proper placement on the bag hanger. So we have that bag hanger with the enema clamp on the bedside, and each bag has this indentation for proper placement on the bedside. So it just slips right on. Let me set this aside as I go through the extra features of the device. So in this section I want to go over medication administration as an extra feature of the device. We're going to start by grabbing the enema clamp off the bag hanger. We're going to use this to administer our medication, actually. So it's a memory foam material. It's not going to occlude the inner tubing used for medication. It's only going to prevent backflow and allow your medication to dwell. So we're going to use this and clamp first as close to the patient as possible. Then we're we're going to grab our Luer lock syringe and use the irrigation port to administer our medication. So even though the clamp is in place, we're still going to administer our medication because that inner tubing is not occluded in any way. Now we can allow our medication to dwell as needed, remove the clamp. We just want to put it right back on the bag hanger. We may need to irrigate afterwards, steady the device with one hand, and milk the contents down towards the collection bag. The final feature I want to go over is going to be the removal. So we're going to again turn our patient back into the left lateral position. We're going to irrigate the device and milk the contents down towards the collection bag just to eliminate any particles that may be still in the diverter. You can remove the collection bag and discard it. And then we're going to seek this withdraw tab. Again, in the maintenance hub, it has that red sticker on the white tab, and this is what we're going to use for the removal of the device. We just want to be sure that we're absolutely ready to pull that tab. We're essentially going to be pulling the tab to collapse the stent-like feature of the device. We have no way of re-expanding or re-inserting the device, so just be sure that you're ready to pull the tab. When you're ready, go ahead and hold the base of the tab in one hand and the top in the other, and you're going to pull. As you start to pull, this white piece of plastic will become emerged. This acts as a visual indication as to how collapsed the device is. So as we pull, this white piece of plastic will become straightened, telling us that the device is collapsed. At that point, we can let go and remove the device from the patient. So let's go through that. We're just going to pull. We may need to adjust the grip. There is some tension involved in this process. Pull until it's straightened, let it go, and now the device is collapsed and we can remove it from the patient. I do want to note that the Qora has an inherent safety feature and that it's not anchored on the anal-rectal junction whatsoever. With that, we just may need to be a bit cautious when moving or transferring patients that we're not tugging on the device excessively. If it does remove while fully expanded, that's okay. We just need to start with a new kit because the device can't be reinserted. Thank you for joining me today. If you'd like some further information, you can visit our website, consuremedical.com, where we have data, publications, and videos. You can also give us an email to sales@consuremedical.com, or if you'd prefer to speak to someone live, you can give us a call at 800-520-4714. Thank you.